Hola, hola, ¿qué tal? In this lesson, you will learn how to describe physical and personality traits, and we will see how your given name might have a surprising equivalent in Spanish.
Spanish Awakenings, a free Spanish course for beginners by Web Spanish.
Welcome to lesson number 23. Bienvenido a la lección 23. Now, in our story, Milagros and Diana have ventured onto an online dating site and are browsing through some of the profiles. They comment on the appearances and the interests of the men they see. Now pay close attention to how they describe physical and personality traits.
Diana, ¿cómo es tu chico ideal?
Mi chico ideal,
Aquí hay muchos candidatos.
físicamente o su personalidad.
¿Los dos? Mira, él es Jorge. Es alto, delgado y tiene el pelo largo.
No, yo prefiero el pelo corto.
Ok. Y Antonio es atlético, atractivo y tiene ojos verdes. Se parece a un actor famoso.
No, yo creo que la personalidad es importante.
Ok. ¿Qué tal Gustavo? ¿Es serio? ¿Es amable? ¿Es bajo? ¿Y gordo?
Se parece a mi hermano.
Mira, él es Martín. Usa lentes, es sociable, es abogado y tiene 50 años.
No, alguien más joven.
Pero tiene más experiencia.
Mira, aquí hay otros candidatos.
Now, listen again.
Diana, ¿cómo es tu chico ideal?
¿Mi chico ideal?
Aquí hay muchos candidatos.
¿Físicamente o su personalidad?
Los dos. Mira, él es Jorge. Es alto, delgado y tiene el pelo largo.
No, yo prefiero el pelo corto.
Ok. ¿Y Antonio? Es atlético, atractivo y tiene ojos verdes. Se parece a un actor famoso.
No, yo creo que la personalidad es importante.
Ok. ¿Qué tal Gustavo? ¿Es serio? ¿Es amable? ¿Es bajo y gordo?
Se parece a mi hermano.
Mira, él es Martín. Usa lentes, es sociable, es abogado y tiene 50 años.
No, alguien más joven.
Pero tiene más experiencia.
Mira, aquí hay otros candidatos.
Well, Diana isn't convinced by any of the candidates, at least not yet. This isn't going to be easy. All right, so did you notice how the verb parecerse was used in today's dialogue? When Milagros is describing Antonio, she says, he looks like, he resembles, a famous actor. Se parece a un actor famoso. She actually drops the he in Spanish, which we've already seen is a really common thing to do. Pronouns get dropped all the time. But what I really want you to notice within this sentence is the se, se. Why do you think it's there? Well, listen closely. There are verbs that are known as pronominal verbs. You'll recognize them because they always have a se, se, at the end in the infinitive. So in this case, the infinitive is parecerse. See how it has an se at the end, se? That means it's a pronominal verb, and there's a good number of them in Spanish, so you need to understand how they work. Now, the key thing that you need to know about these pronominal verbs is that when you use them, they're always going to be preceded by a different kind of pronoun, either a me, te, se, nos, or se, depending on the person. Let me show you an example. Let's take the verb to resemble, parecerse. Now, there's a se at the end of the infinitive, right? Parecerse. But let me show you how to conjugate it. Notice that the se, se, disappears from the end, but what happens in front of the verb is different than what you're used to. Watch. Yo me parezco. Tú te pareces. Él se parece. Ella se parece. Usted se parece. Nosotros nos parecemos. Ustedes se parecen. And ellos se parecen. Now, don't get hung up trying to translate the pronouns me, te, se, nos, or se into English. It won't work. They don't have an equivalent. So keep an eye out for pronominal verbs as you continue to learn Spanish. Don't let them throw you off. They're fairly common, but you'll figure out how they work with practice, I promise you. For the purpose of these introductory lessons, if you can at least have pronominal verbs on your radar, you're already ahead of the game. Here's one last example. Let's conjugate to get together with friends. Reunirse con amigos. Here goes. Yo me reúno con amigos. Tú te reúnes con amigos. Él se reúne con amigos. Ella se reúne con amigos. Usted se reúne con amigos. Nosotros nos reunimos con amigos. Ellos se reúnen con amigos. Ellas se reúnen con amigos. Ustedes se reúnen con amigos. Okay, let's move away from grammar for a while because I'd like to tell you a little bit more about given names, or first names, or Christian names, however you'd like to call them, and how they play back and forth between English and Spanish. Hey, in the dialogue you just watched, you heard a very common name in Spanish, Jorge. This is actually the Spanish version of George. George, Jorge. They look pretty different from one another, but you can still spot a small similarity, right? Now, looking at history books in Spanish is a fun way to get a handle on how the same name can have two different spellings. Henry VIII is Enrique VIII. Queen Elizabeth, Reina Isabel. And Christopher Columbus is Cristobal Colón, just to give you a few examples. Now, hey, what about the example of Martín from the dialogue? Spanish is also full of names that are spelled the same, but which are pronounced differently than the English version. Martin, Martín. Here's a couple other common examples. Benjamin and Benjamin. Sebastian, Sebastián. Coincidentally, all three of the examples have accents called tildes above one of the vowels. Well, if you don't know already, these marks tell you that you should stress that sound when pronouncing it. Benjamin. We'll look at these accent marks, which are called tildes, again in lesson number 37. Now, what makes names in Spanish even more interesting is that some common names also have a colloquial equivalent, a sort of nickname that corresponds to that specific name. What do I mean by this? Well, check this out. Someone, for example, whose name is Jose is also called Pepe, and Enrique might be called Quique or even Kiko by his friends and loved ones. And someone whose name is Rosario becomes Charo or Charito. I remember that when I was first learning Spanish and meeting new people in Peru, these duplicate names totally threw me off. Just when I thought I'd learned somebody's name, I'd hear him or her called by something totally different. Now, we just don't do that in English. So I just want you to keep an eye out for it. And just a clarification, in formal settings, you'll want to call someone by their given name and not by their colloquial one. Okay, there's a few more English names that have an equivalent in Spanish included in the study guide, so check that out when you have the time. Check the audios too so you can continue to perfect your pronunciation. Hey, can you figure out how your own name would be pronounced in Spanish? Would it have a different version altogether? It's all in a name. Okay, good work. Now, if you thought you learned something in today's lesson, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and if we can help you with private classes, please contact us. We'll put you in touch with a patient, trained private teacher who'll walk you through Spanish step by step. Ciao.